carbon trading is another form of land grabbing.
Our land is not your solution. Tapos no kat ground, no life. It is quite unfair. It's an industry which is not really regulated.
Our land is not your solution.
The government must stop false solutions to climate change.
If you make us landless, that is genocide for that society. That is basically the end of us.
The climate crisis is escalating and is a global threat to humanity. Governments around the world are looking for solutions. Through the Paris Agreement, the international community has set the target to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees. However, an exit from fossil fuels is still far away. Greenhouse gas emissions are increasing worldwide. Instead of drastically reducing emissions, governments and companies rely heavily on carbon trading. They can invest in climate-friendly projects to balance their emissions and claim to be carbon neutral. One of the countries where carbon offsetting happens is Papua New Guinea. The country has huge tropical rainforests and is therefore an attractive destination for carbon trading companies. The people of the Kamlapar clan in New Ireland province have embarked on such a carbon project. The Kamlapar clan is one of several clans living in the Kite community.
Ground, valuable ground law.
Land. The value of it to me, my people, my tribesmen, or my clan is very important. Land is life. Without land, no life.
But the international developments also reach the remote village. Carbon traders are traveling the country promising money and other benefits to communities in return for protecting the forest. For the people of the Kamlapar clan, that sounded like a good deal. They signed a contract with the U.S. carbon trading company Knight, the New Ireland hardwood timbers. However, the way the carbon project was introduced led to conflicts in the community and with the carbon trader.
Knight came into the community without any explanation of their intent and purpose. Knight did not bother to hold consultations to get the opinions or thoughts of the community. Instead, what Knight did was tell the community to sign a contract, and they told the community that if you sign, you will all get paid. They convinced us that all was well and legal. So, most of us just signed.
Money just looking mo me correct and me rights or just put him on mark na.
Only the Kamlapar clan decided to sign the contract, but not the whole community. This led to tensions within the community. The local NGO Forcert sees the way carbon traders sign deals with communities as very critical.
The three major problems that this type of carbon cowboys, as we'd like to call them, are causing in the communities is they are not following the due diligence. They're not practicing free, prior, informed consent. This has led into social conflicts. This has led into communities being separated. This has led into communities having disputes within their land and their forest area. Another thing that these carbon cowboys also causing in the communities is raising expectations, preaching about billions and millions of kina that the communities will receive from their carbon credits being offsetted. But at the end of the day, when the community did not see that coming, it demoralized them.
In terms of benefits, it seems that Knight has not treated us fairly. They have done things in a way that they own the land, own the resources. They control the finances, whereas we, the landowners, have no say in anything. We have no idea when they sell credits and the outcome of these sales. There is not even the least benefit to us.
Forsert has assisted the Kamlapar clan to find a lawyer in the capital Port Moresby to take the matter to court. He sees the dispute with the carbon trading company as an unequal battle.
It's quite unfair in terms of how information, in terms of information sharing, in the particular agreement itself, there's certain clause that says that all information that come about in terms of the trade itself are solely the property of Knight. It won't be divulged to the customary landowners, which is quite unfair.
Lawyer George Akia plans the next steps to claim back the rights of the Kamlapar clan.
The next stage will be us going to a full trial. And we are also intending on getting a permanent injunction stopping this particular company from further conducting its businesses, not just in that area of the country, but all across Papua New Guinea.
Like many other places, the country doesn't have a regulatory framework that protects the rights of communities.
If we don't have a carbon market regulation in the country, we can't regulate the influx of the voluntary carbon markets. We have different finances, carbon developers coming into the country, striking deals, going to the communities, striking deals with landowners, signing off their land, signing off their forests to go into carbon voluntary carbon market.
From Forsert's point of view, carbon trading is not a viable solution for the climate crisis.
My feeling about the whole system is we would like to see that the big companies or the developed countries that are continuing the emissions should be really committed into climate change and not using Papua New Guinea or other Pacific Island countries as a place to offset or dump their rubbish to offset their emissions, and they're not really committed in that sense.
Indonesia is also a country with huge rainforests. Indigenous peoples who have lived on their customary land for generations and have protected the forests without having secure land titles are under threat.
Indonesia punya komitmen untuk menekan
All the commitments that Indonesia has made internationally to achieve the 1.5-degree target put pressure on the conservation of forests.
Saya lihat dan kita saksikan bersama bahwa semua beban untuk mencapai target itu dibebankan kepada konservasi.
This has consequences for communities because many of them don't have secure land titles and can easily be chased away from their land.
Status masyarakat adat di kawasan hutan sampai sekarang belum ada kejelasan.
Although the government promised to protect the forests, it is constantly giving new concessions to companies and allows them to clear the rainforest for economic projects, such as mining, palm oil plantations, paper production, and others. The Naga-Zaribu community in North Sumatra belongs to the indigenous Batak people. They have lived on the land for many generations.
For us, indigenous Batak, land is our identity. The land is important for the future generations. Land is our source of life.
But the Indonesian government allowed a paper factory to grow eucalyptus on the Batak people's land. The rainforest was destroyed, and a huge eucalyptus plantation was established.
The biggest threat for us is the presence of the company and the permit of the government. But we are also facing climate change and ecological disasters like flood, landslides, and others. The companies cause deforestation and thus increase the ecological risks and disasters.
The local NGO KSPPM supports the Naga-Zaribu community.
The permits to corporations have a big potential to destroy the forests. This is counterproductive for climate mitigation and our national commitments. The struggle of Naga-Zaribu is inherently a struggle to preserve the forests and to protect the climate.
With the help of KSPPM, the community has managed to obtain a secure land title. Now they are reforesting the area.
In Naga-Zaribu, it took 6 years of demonstrations, lobbying, hearings, until the land decree was issued. This may sound like a long time, but many other communities have much longer processes and have not yet received the land title.
For the people of Naga-Zaribu, the recognition of their land title was an important victory. The issuance of the decree that acknowledges us as indigenous people made us enthusiastic to work on our land, to cultivate our land. Now we feel secure. We are the official owners of the land. Indigenous peoples play an important role in the global fight against climate change. Worldwide, they have proven to be the best custodians of the forests.
The land rights advocacy of indigenous people is closely related to climate mitigation. The best preserved forests that exist right now are the ones that are under the control of indigenous peoples.
Indigenous peoples' organizations therefore insist that formal recognition of the rights and customary land of indigenous peoples must be a key element of all climate mitigation efforts.
The government should immediately implement a moratorium on all existing permits for companies that want to operate on indigenous territories, such as mining permits, farm permits, and others that will destroy the forests in the region. The government needs to pass the Indigenous Peoples Act, which has been proposed by the Civil Society Coalition to recognize indigenous peoples. This is a prerequisite for us to talk about sustainability and climate change mitigation.
Back in Papua New Guinea, the staff of FORCERT regularly travel to Kite to support the people in the community. They know that direct exchange and dialogue with the community members is very important.
FORCERT is supporting the community not through monetary things, not through giving things to the community, but we support them through helping them to understand the value of land, understanding the importance of their forest, so they can make the decision on their own land.
Forsert understands what our community wants to achieve in the future, and that is why the community is happy to work with Forsert. They stay with us and try to understand us in the community. They capture our ambitions and dreams and only facilitate our decision-making processes. They do not create disharmony in our community. They align and help us with our values and desire to protect and conserve our land and forests.
With the support of Forsert, the inhabitants of Kite have developed their sustainable land use plan. This helps them to generate income opportunities that protect the forest and natural resources.
This plantation of balsa is planted on what is my portion of land. We have allocated this area as cash crop area in our sustainable land use plan. When the balsa is ready for harvest, we chop the trees and sell them so we can earn an income for our community as a whole.
Ground blue mipla mi important long. Mipla too because
our land is very important to us. It is important as we control our land and the laws we make on our land. We decide how the land will be used. We decide whether this portion of land is for conservation or whether that portion of land is a block for planting cocoa. Or this is where our food gardens will be. Or this is where we will build our houses to live in. We ourselves make the decisions upon our land.
The experience with the Carbon Project has taught the people of Kite not to become dependent on carbon developers and their promises. I see that we are mothers. We have children. And we are stewards of the land for these children. When they grow up, they must know where their land is. They must know where their ancestors come from and how they took care of our land. Land is our source of life. We make our gardens, and land gives us our food. Land gives us opportunities to make money. We can plant cocoa, coconut. Our responsibility as mothers is to teach our children how to care for the land. Environmental activists see the whole concept of land-based carbon offsetting as a false solution to mitigate the climate crisis. They demand real solutions that respect the rights of communities and do not combine forest protection with a permission to continue polluting.
The Western world is saying that we are paying you to keep your forest standing. But is that a problem-solving thing for climate change? No, it's not. Because what you are doing is that we are making you to continue polluting, while the smaller people are going to suffer culturally, socially. We don't want Papua New Guineans to be tied up to any deals at all with regard to their land. We don't want that.
We civil society organizations in the Global South need to collaborate with each other with regard to the protection of the remaining forests. the protection of territories belonging to indigenous peoples and local communities, as well as the recognition of their existence. Governments need to stop providing false solutions. A simple step to mitigate climate change is to recognize indigenous peoples. To stop deforestation and to give space to indigenous peoples as subjects of development. Because the communities are strategic partners for governments in addressing the climate crisis.
If you are serious about climate change, if you are serious about global warming, you tackle it there. You don't have to come and pay Papua New Guineans, for example, to have their forest tending while you keep on doing your business. You can't be doing that. You cannot say that my lands are in Papua New Guinea. They can look after me while I can continue destroying. You cannot say that. I think the real solution is simple. It's clear. The Western world should just stop polluting the air. Just stop it.